In fact, those of us who are more emotionally intelligent are more successful. It's that emotional intelligence that allows us to work together so incredibly well in groups, which in turn enables us to use our smarts in collective ways that benefit many. Nobody, no matter how brilliant, could build a rocket ship to the moon or a democratic system of government on their own. Emotions aren't just useful for understanding others and convincing others to work with us. They are integral to being human, as they are the sometimes unacknowledged basis for almost important social movements, art, and sports triumphs. The reason we care about who wins or loses a game is all about how we feel about the team. After all, emotions have motivated every war ever fought. You don't get thousands of people to fight the other side to the death without an emotional call to arms. Give me liberty or give me death. And never was so much owed by so many to so few, are meant to appeal to the heart. But despite the universal humanity of emotions, and the fact that they motivate both our best efforts, curing diseases, exploring Mars, and our worst, war, torture, slavery, feelings are still considered the territory of only one sex, women. And while a recent study via Microsoft Research found that both men and women express emotions almost equally, they express different ones. Men were more likely to show their anger and women were more likely to express happiness and sadness. But the 2,000-person study found that at least some emotional expression is culturally dictated. Women in France and China didn't smile more than men did, but women in Germany, the UK, and the US did. So maybe we can say that all people have emotions, but which ones we are allowed or expected to express is likely culturally dictated. Knowing what's allowed, men and women may express the same emotions, but they will be described differently, with women's emotions being described as more extreme. Photo, Tycho Aramayan/Shutterstock. This disparity in who should express what emotions becomes a problem when women break the rules of what they're allowed to show and are punished for showing emotions. In stressful situations, of course, both men and women can be reduced to tears, but it's only held against one of those groups. Think of Brett Kavanaugh, our newest Supreme Court Justice, who cried and yelled repeatedly during his recent testimony, and contrast that with his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, who was the picture of composure and restraint. She knew, as most women know, that crying and showing intense feeling in a professional setting would be held against her, proving that women are too emotional while men who do the same are lauded for expressing their feelings. As the voiceover by Serena Williams points out in the video above, if we show emotion, we're called dramatic. Men are also socially sanctioned to express anger, yet for women it's verboten. As Michelle Obama recalled of the run-up to the 2008 election, she was torn apart in the press for speaking passionately, which is de rigueur in political speeches, for men. I thought I was doing great, telling my story, sharing it honestly, says Obama, of a personal speech she delivered in support of her husband's run. But this was the time I was called an angry black woman. She ended up adjusting her speaking style to be more friendly, according to her memoir, Becoming. Critiquing women for showing their feelings isn't just for public settings. Emotional is a term used to label women whom you don't want to have a voice in a situation. When a couple is having an argument, even if a woman has a well-thought-out reason for being upset, a guy might say, "You are just being emotional." It's a way to discredit her instead of having to listen. The words "you are acting crazy" really mean I don't have to pay attention to you. Matthew Zawodzki, Ph. D., a professor who studies perceptions of emotion, told Refinery 29. Calling women out for expressing feelings ultimately disempowers them, and delegitimizes whatever they're having those feelings about. And when women get angry over being unfairly treated, We're hysterical, irrational, or just being crazy, as Williams says in the video. It's a no-win situation. This idea that women are crazy for expressing emotions in the same way that men do is clearly a double standard. In the video above, examples of women heartily criticized for engaging in the exact same behavior that male athletes do are shown, clip after clip. So let's stop calling women out for expressing human emotions that we all share. Women get to be angry, and upset enough to cry, and so do men. Another solution might be for women to embrace some of these labels, so if some people call women crazy or angry or too emotional for acting as men do, then let's go with it, which might change the meaning of the word over time. There's certainly precedent in other groups taking back names that were once used to denigrate them. Another would be, of course, to normalize the fact that we all feel things, and it's okay to express them, no matter who we are.